The Zowie FK1 Plus C is the latest version of the FK lineup, bringing a lot of highly requested changes with it, like a lighter weight, paracord cable, and an updated sensor. Zowie have been making some of the most popular gaming mice for over a decade and have a long-standing legacy in esports scenes like Quake and Counter-Strike. This is the first Zowie product I've ever owned, and now I kind of understand why the brand is so highly praised. For the last 2 years, I've mostly been using the Razer Viper Ultimate for fast-paced shooters like Doom Eternal and Quake Champions. It's been a great mouse, but there were some physical design choices that started to bother me the longer I used it. My grip style is a little uncommon. It's a 1-3-1 palm-claw hybrid, meaning my index, middle, and ring finger rest on top of the mouse, using my ring finger for right-click and my middle finger for the scroll wheel. Because I like to rest my middle finger in front of the scroll wheel, any mouse I choose to purchase has to have a divider between left and right click. The Viper did fit this criteria, but the divider is physically lower than the buttons themselves, causing my middle finger to lightly touch both left and right click simultaneously. On very rare instances, I could accidentally click the buttons when setting the mouse back down after a flick, and it just became generally uncomfortable and annoying for my grip style after some time. Among other issues like general build quality, having mushy, weak, and quite literally loose clicks, being slightly too small, and synapse. It was time for me to find something new. After a lot of searching, I decided to return to a wired mouse, partially because I was tired of charging things, and also because almost every other wireless mouse on the market has the same style of divider between left and right click as the Viper, or no divider at all in the case of the G Pro Superlight. The glorious Model O, Final Mouse, Ponage Sim, Sim 2, the Hottie S, every single one is built like this. Some of the options that I found with a better divider were from unfamiliar OEM off-brands that I didn't want to gamble my money on. So I bought the FK1 Plus C. It's slightly larger than the Viper in every dimension, approximately 2mm longer, wider, and taller. These slight differences don't sound like much, but combined they make the FK1 Plus feel my hand much better than the Viper ever did. For reference, my hand size is 19 by 9 centimeters. The Zowie is only a few grams heavier than the Viper as well, weighing 77 grams without the cable compared to the Viper's approximate 74. It's not the lightest large wired mouse out there, but it's perfectly acceptable considering the size. As part of the effort to reduce the weight, they removed the right side buttons that were present on the older revisions, so those few rare left-handed users will be out of luck with this new version. The FK1 Plus is 39mm tall at the highest point, 129mm long, and is 65mm wide at the front, 63mm at the grip, and 69mm wide at the back. Nice. As for build quality, this thing is a freaking tank. There is zero rattle or flex anywhere on the mouse. No creaking, no loose buttons, no flimsy plastic, and the feel in my hand says, I'm gonna be with you forever and ever and ever and ever. The cable is pretty good for a stock paracord, especially since it's Zowie's first paracorded mouse series. It's very flexible and has a strong, well-made stress relief pointed at an upward angle to help reduce cable drag, with or without a bungee. Comparing it to the aftermarket cable on my customized G Pro, it feels practically identical. The only reason I can think of to change it out for an aftermarket cable would be purely for aesthetic reasons. Zowie's stock feet feel perfectly smooth on my glorious XL Stealth mousepad, providing a decent blend of glide and control, but this all comes down to personal preference and what mousepad you're using. All of the new Zowie mice use the Pixart 3360 sensor. While it's a little outdated by today's standards, this is a welcome change from the 3310 in their older models. The 3360 is a reliable and true flawless sensor that has been used in a lot of other great mice, so there's no problems with acceleration, angle snapping, or spin out. The Zowie mice also do not require any software to change settings. All changes to DPI, polling rate, liftoff distance, and click debounce time are done directly on the mouse, either through dedicated buttons or by holding certain button combinations while plugging the mouse in. The main buttons themselves feel incredibly snappy and have next to no pre- or post-travel. For some people, these might feel a little stiff, especially since the buttons are part of the top shell, but they're very responsive. The side buttons also feel crisp, don't wobble, and have just the right amount of travel to them. I'm unsure if the new Zowie mice are still using Huano switches like their older counterparts, or if they moved to Omrons or another brand. I haven't cracked open this FK1 Plus yet to take a look at the inside or replace switches. Unless one of the switches happens to die, I likely won't replace them since they already feel exactly the way I'd prefer. The scroll wheel has also been updated from the old 16 steps to the new 24-step encoder. The steps themselves are well defined, if not a little stiff, and the wheel feels great, but oh my god, this thing is freaking loud, and I mean jackhammer versus concrete at 6 AM on a weekend loud. Whether this is something that bothers you or not is always personal preference. I personally don't mind it. I actually kind of like how loud it is. But it is a critique that other people have had of older Zowie mice, and it holds true with the new revisions. All in all, the new Zowie FK1 Plus C is an excellent, durable, relatively lightweight, large, ambidextrous mouse. Boy, that's a mouthful. At the time of recording this video, it's only available from Zowie's website directly or from maxgaming.com at a cost of $64.99 US. Is it the right mouse for you? Maybe. That depends on your hand size, grip, and many other factors. Is it the right mouse for me? Yes. For now. I'll be doing a review of my custom SkyPad 2.0 XL, which is a tempered glass mousepad when that arrives. Should be pretty interesting to look at. I don't get to do peripheral or hardware reviews that often, as it's pretty expensive to buy every new mouse and mousepad that comes out on the market. But if this is something you guys enjoyed, like the video, comment, subscribe, helps a lot. Maybe we'll look at something else to review further down the road.